and small business during the pandemic. How are you doing today, Jon?
I'm doing pretty good, Terrace. What's going on? How are you hanging in there?
Oh, very well. It's as good as anybody. I'll put it that way. It's good. Staying busy, trying to stay active.
Good, good, good. I'm liking the chalkboard in the back. Very, very professional.
Yeah, it's actually an original from the old schoolhouse. So it's older than any of us. Let's put it that way. But it serves its purpose. That's for sure. Yeah. So let's start with talking about wellness today and what people can be doing just in their day-to-day lives to keep their immune systems up and keep healthy.
Sure. Yeah. With obviously with the pandemic, there's a lot of different health catastrophes going on now, and we're going to try to isolate and focus on some of the things that we can actually control. So one of the things that you can actually spend some time doing is boosting your own immune system. Things that you actually have control over, you can do at home. You don't have to have a gym or anything like this. For example, one of the things that you can do as a huge immune booster is simply getting enough sleep. If you're getting over, 6 hours of sleep, studies have shown over and over and over again that some of the, immune factors that fight off infections are boosted. Same thing with exercise. Getting 30 minutes of exercise, a day greatly improves your immune system. So no, if you have a perfect immune system and you walk into, a hospital, the COVID unit, and you go get sneezed on by a bunch of people, it's not going to save you, but these are simple things, you can do at home in order to try to help yourself.
The exercise is a great idea, obviously, but I got to say I'm more of a fan of the sleeping one. That seems much easier to just get, I feel like I'm very good at pulling that off. I get that one on a regular, just locked in there. But the exercise, I don't know. It sounds like a lot.
The way you do it is you exercise first, you hang out a little bit, and then it makes you tired enough to go to sleep.
That's true.
Actually, since having a little extra time, with the pandemic, I've gotten back in to do a little bit of running. And actually, Shasta, who set all this up with the marketing and everything, I noticed that she's on Strava too, and we're keeping track of each other's exercise habits running. So that's another thing that we lose with the pandemic is the sense of community. And, a great thing, immune booster, everybody always talks about this, but actually having, someone hugging you, somebody touching you actually boosts that. Well, we can't get a whole lot of that now, but, one way that you can, try to, have that same type of thing is have that social connection. Strava is a good way to do it.
Do you mind talking about the Strava a little bit? So that's like a community workout app?
Yeah, Strava is just an app. A lot of people with their Apple Watches and things, there's all these different apps out there. Strava does a great job. Not only does it have its sense of community in terms of, hey, I just did a 5-mile run. It sends it to all my kind of followers, but it also like breaks things down. I've known for me, myself as a runner, I start off and I go pretty fast in the beginning, and then I kind of trot for a while, and then I like to, Rocky Balboa it at the end and sprint. Right. And so it's fun to see those changes, and that way you can set proper goals, and it's more fun than just laying on or getting on a treadmill and trotting for an hour.
Awesome, that's really cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I don't have an Apple Watch. Is that for Apple only?
No, you can do it. It's for anything. You can actually just put it on your phone. I think
nice.
Use for Android or whatnot, and it basically holds you accountable.
Very cool.
It's important.
Very cool. So so exercise, sleep, which, as you said, doing the exercise helps with the sleep. What are some other things?
Another great is diet. And I know, and I myself get in trouble with this, but we have all this extra time. We can make these big, bold, beautiful meals that we find on the Food Network channel, watching Chopped for 3 hours a day. But, really some of the, the dietary things that we ingest makes a huge difference in how our body builds that immune system. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be at your absolute peak in terms of, I do work with a lot of athletes, so I pay peak performance. Mm-hmm. But if you want to have your peak immune system, it's the same type of things. Your body requires a certain amount of certain things. And there's a lot of research and information in terms of what that is, but it's being smart. If you're ingesting a lot of alcohol, a lot of, heavy duty fats, dairy, it's going to slow down your immune system. If you're ingesting, proper vegetables and fruits, it's going to help boost it. And you can get a lot more specific in terms of what things within those, within those foods matter, but we don't really want to dive into all that.
Eat your leafy greens,
Whatever your great grandmother told you to do, don't do anything dumb. Eat your green leafy vegetables, that type of thing. For the most part, a lot of that holds true. We have a lot more research, and we can be a lot more specific now.
Yeah.
But, great grandma, she knew some things too.
Yeah. No, I imagine. Well, and they were all working, so they needed the energy. It was a lot more active back then, obviously, just in the day-to-day activities. Not as many office jobs, put it that way.
Yes.
So you got diet and sleep and exercise. I mean, that's pretty excellent. Yeah. Anything else?
With getting specific with, when you talk about immunity, one of the biggest things is cortisol levels or stress is the stress hormone. You hear that all the time. One of the biggest things for kind of lowering your immune system is increased cortisol levels. So how do you decrease cortisol levels? You got to decrease your stress, which is extremely difficult in these times right now with, all the stresses that can be there. So that's when you try to combat that stress by exercising, by eating right. These things bring down those cortisol levels. So
it's like a circle, huh?
It's like a circle. It all, it kind of all goes together. As a chiropractor, we kind of tend to see things more holistically. I'm a little bit more, on the spectrum of show me the research on it and then I can follow it. But there is a lot to be said for, things that go together. It makes sense.
Got you. Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah. I mean, obviously anything we can do to stay healthy in these times, that's important. Healthy and happy. And it sounds like the happy helps with the healthy. So
no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, hey, let's pivot over a little bit to, small business during the pandemic. I just kind of like to know how it's been going for you in your specific industry. We haven't talked to anybody that's doing what you normally do, and I think it'd be helpful for people to hear.
So our business, we're fortunate enough to be considered an essential worker. For example, I've had patients call the office on their way to the ER, say, hey, I can stop at your office. Hopefully that can prevent me from having to go to the hospital. Anything that you can do, please help me.
Right.
So for us personally, we're able to be open, which I know is a lot different than, a lot of the businesses out there. We are open in a limited capacity, working about a little less than half the hours I normally would. But our business was fortunate enough. The first day that the payment protection program loan was out, that was in the original stimulus bill, we were able to apply actually through Chelsea State Bank.
Nice.
They did an awesome job. I believe I applied on a Friday. It was accepted on a Monday, and funds were transferred into our account on a Wednesday.
That's awesome.
I can't speak highly enough of them. But anyways, with us being able to get that PPP loan, that's going to be able to sustain us forever or for however long this pandemic will go for. But that's one of the biggest things I'm thankful for, is being able to get that PPP loan. And for those of you who are watching, especially those business owners who are out there watching, and Trump just passed an additional stimulus to fund that same program. So I know
that'll be rolling out soon.
Yes. So I mean, the last one lasted, 4 or 5 days in terms of how quickly the funds ran out. I know Shasta is going to put a link on this broadcast for those who want more information. Just to get very specific, I used there was a mortgage or a lender over at Chelsea State Bank named Stuart Mann.
Okay.
Shout out to Stuart. He hooked us up and did a tremendous job getting all of our information and getting us ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. As much as you can do ahead of time, because once the deadline opens, or once the market opens on those, you want to be in there immediately.
Well, that's what helps you with all the, there's all this out there for, hey, we're trying to protect small business. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. You see all these, this billions and billions of dollars is, how does that relate to me personally? What am I eligible for? What can I actually get? What should I spend my time trying to apply for? What should I, I'm probably not eligible for that. For example, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce had implemented a grant program. It was on Monday that it went out, an application I believe it was $2,500 or $5,000, but it depended on where your business was located. So per the zip code, you would be eligible or not. So the 48118 zip code, which we're a part of, we actually were not eligible for it, but I have some business owner friends in Jackson that did apply for it and were approved. So there's a lot out there. It's just knowing, what you're eligible for and really going and getting it. I mean, there's scary times, and you've got to make sure that you're doing everything that you can to, keep control.
Yeah, and it is refreshing that they keep rolling out new chunks of it as well. I know there's actually been quite a few businesses in Chelsea that through Spark and I think one of them is called One Song. Like there has been quite a few people that have been getting grants and loans and assistance.
Yeah, Spark was a big one. I know that they had run out of funds. I think that they had added some more funds. I'm not exactly sure where that is at this exact moment. But I know they've been off and on with offering things. And there's another one out in Jackson. There was a big fund for actually the CEO of Consumers Energy, Patty Poppy. Her and her husband donated $1 million. I believe it was a Jackson fundraising fund for small business owners in Jackson. So I know this is more of a Chelsea thing with being a part of the chamber, but whoever you can help with small business owners now, now you got to band together more than ever.
Yeah, no, I agree. Real quick on that note, we did just post the website, one of the resources for the Paycheck Protection Program in the comments on the video. So if anybody's looking for that link, it is in there. And then I wanted to shift over kind of exactly what you just talked about, though, is the connection to the community around you and how helpful that can be right now. I know you're a board member for the Chamber of Commerce, and you're also on many other groups. Have you found that that's been very helpful throughout this time?
Yes. So, as a small business owner, we employ here at our office, we have 5 employees, including myself. We're not very big. We don't have huge budgets for marketing. So one of the best things that we can do is social marketing. So I'm on the board for the Chelsea Chamber of Commerce. I'm actually the president of our Chelsea BNI networking on the Jackson College Alumni Board, and just active in the community. And for my business in particular, having those connections, I always think of it, I always try to explain it like this. Terrace, let's say do you have any siblings?
I do. Yep, I got an older brother.
Older brother. All right. So let's say you're older. What does your older brother do? What's his job?
He's a chef, actually.
He's a chef. All right. Awesome. Okay. So you're out in the community and somebody goes, man, I just got married. I want to take the wife out to just a beautiful dinner. And can you think of anybody? Oh yeah, my brother. He's a chef. You got to go see him, Chef Terrace's brother. He's awesome.
Chef Trevor Lucas is his name.
Okay. You got to go see him. He does an awesome job. So imagine, you have all of those people who know you, who understand what you do, who have a personal relationship with you. Just imagine you expand that social network to include community members, to include those. I'm a huge sports nut. Actually, I help coach here in the Chelsea area, the Chelsea boys basketball. Go Bulldogs! Shout out to Coach Tropay, Coach Elam. But somebody rolls their ankle, the first thing they're gonna think of is, oh, hey, I know Dr. Curtis. He can at least take a look at it for you.
Yeah.
Top of the mind awareness. Just having those social connections plays a huge role. So quick blurb. There's the social networking that I was talking about, BNI, with being the president of that. If anybody has any information or wants any more information for that, actually we had our meeting this morning. We do it through Zoom, and if anybody wants to be a part of that, it's free to visit and reach out to me. I'd love to help any small business owner any way that I possibly can right now.
Yeah. Truthfully, there's no reason to not be looking down every avenue, especially for those businesses that have found themselves with their doors shut. I wouldn't say that they're not busy. Everybody's busy, but you probably have a little bit more time to do some of that, to get a little more comfortable. As we were talking about before we got online here today, with all the avenues that you have for communicating with people between the live videos and all that stuff. But that just goes hand in hand with take the time, see which organizations could potentially help you out. Obviously, here at the Chamber, we're always available. Stop on by. And I did want to mention also earlier, you were talking about, the different resources and where to find stuff and whatnot. We are keeping a pretty up-to-date COVID-19 resource page on chelseamish.com. So I would recommend everybody checks that out if you have the time. But yeah, I don't know, Jon, any fun thoughts? What have you guys been watching in your house? You've been reading anything good?
So I'm actually newly married.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. My beautiful wife, Samantha, she's probably working right now. She's working full time from home. But no, we just got married. We got home from our destination wedding on March 1st, and we had a week of regular marriage, and now we're quarantined together. So, you gotta love each other in that situation. No, I've gotten back into playing the guitar.
Awesome.
I played a ton of in college, and this, for as horrible as this is for not only health but the economy, families, everybody's affected. You still have to think of any sort of opportunity that's available. So my opportunity now is I have a bunch of extra time, so use that time to better myself through exercising as well as getting into hobbies like playing the guitar.
And better your business by reaching out to these organizations and becoming a more multifaceted across different platforms. And that's great. That's awesome. Well, hey, Jon, I wanted to thank you so much for coming by and talking with us stuff today. It's all great information, and it's so nice to hear a perspective from another business that's been getting help and is figuring out how to survive and thrive in this time. And I want to give a big shout out to Shasta Grifka with Grifka Marketing for sponsoring our Be Live today, as she always does. And if anybody has any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to Dr. Curtis at Curtis Chiropractic or me over at the Chamber. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere else. All right, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye, Jon.
Thanks, Terrace. See you, everybody.